super battlesuit is discharged into space, changing the life of one hapless duck and transforming him into a hero called Wonderduck.
What's up, y'all? Today on Catch the Craze, we got Johnny C, Surrounded by Death, and on Get Your Meds, vetted groups on Facebook. Sounds interesting. Let's get it.
We are the only show for independents all around, giving you a platform to spread your word all over town. Catch the Craze is the place to promote to your fans with the dream of Medina and Sam the Crazy Man. Subscribe to our show and never miss an episode. It's time to get your meds, listen to us on the go. Updated every week, we never miss a day. Join the squad, come on in. It's time to catch the craze. If you are an independent, catch the craze. Making moves on your own, catch the craze. On your grind in the streets, catch the craze. Join the movement, catch the craze.
Yeah, George, we did it again. Come on now. You know you want to do it. Catch the Craze. Welcome to Catch the Craze Podcast. I'm your host with the most, Sam the Crazy Man, Vera. And I'm with me right now. What's up, y'all? Welcome to another exciting episode of Catch the Craze Podcast. Let's get some things in order. Have you subscribed to the show? If you haven't done so, why haven't you? What's going on? 79% of our viewership hasn't subscribed yet. I don't know what the deal is, yo, but if you haven't done so, here's your chance. Subscribe, like, hit that button, ring that bell, get notified when we go live or when there's a new show. When we grow, the independent community grows, right? We've been hosting indie creators since 2006, right? And so this is the home of the indie. And if you love that grit, that grind, that individual with passion to grow and build on their dreams, this is the place that we make dreams happen, or at least we help make it happen. I'm just saying. So when we grow, everybody grows. So the more eyes on Catch the Craze, the more eyes on the creators that come on our show, like Johnny C, who's coming on in a few, and he'll be talking about Surrounded by Death. Surrounded by Death. I think that's like the slogan for 2019 and on, because it's just been crazy. So and he's also the other half of Indie Comics Relay, podcasting duo with Keith Gleason, and Keith will be on our show next week. So we're gonna have both guys on the show. Great group of guys. That's pretty dope. And later on, Get Your Meds. I guess I'll be talking to myself on Get Your Meds on vetted groups on Facebook. And George is supposed to be here. Don't know whatever happened to him. I didn't even get a, hey, I'm going to be late. So we're just going to go, and I'll be talking to you about vetting groups on, not just Facebook. It's just, before you join groups, you should vet them. And why should you vet them? And we're going to talk about that. But before we talked about that, we opened up the segment with Wonderduck. Have you subscribed? Have you signed up for the launch of Wonderduck May 4th? 2022. If you haven't done so already, please sign up. It's going to be fun. It's fire. George put a lot of work into this series. It is amazing. So check it out. I also did a piece for Wonderduck, so you want to check that out. And if you haven't done so already, this is an announcement to everybody. Your Kickstarters have left. So I have no more Kickstarters to send. All the Kickstarters are out. If you haven't done so already, you'll know you'll be getting them. And so now that you got them, and now you know that it's legitimate, and Sam, he honored his word. He says he's going to get it to you in April, and he did. Sign up for part 2 of There's an Alien in My Toilet. You know what I'm saying? Because your money's good with me. You're good with Allstate. So I just see that Medina just joined us in the chat. There he goes. Where you been?
What up, Doc? I had a little interview with Mark Torres. It came from the
I
video.
forgot all about that. I was dragging you to the mud on the live show. To watch the live show, whatever you do.
Oh, you son of a gun! How dare you? Oh my
That
God!
stuff about pickpockets. Don't listen to that.
Oh. What did I miss? What did I miss?
You missed everything. So I already talked about Wonderduck. I already talked about in my toilet. But
All
also,
right.
I will be launching an Etsy store soon. And also, this is going to be available framed
Cute.
on the Etsy store. This is one of many graphics that'll be available that can that can adorn your walls, your fireplace mantle, the kids' bedroom. It comes nicely packaged and framed. This is one of many the Etsy store is going to launch very soon, but it's also going to be available on the website, and it's also going to be available on the Kickstarter on May 31st. And also, don't forget, if you're in Vegas, come and check me out at booth D104. I will be over there. I don't know how much time I will have to be able to chat, because I'll be working and hustling. But booth D104 at the Mandalay Bay Convention Center. Check us out. I'll be there with Johnny Sci-Fi. You can chat with Johnny all day. I just probably will be in meetings. But getting my pitch on. But yeah, so that's the opening spiel. We talked about the guests. And what's up, Georgie?
Not chilling. Yo, you know what? I heard that Etsy is going on strike.
Etsy's on strike?
Yeah, apparently they're trying to take more fees than they normally were from the creators, and the creators are like, hell no. So yeah, I heard that. I was just on the show with Mark, and they were talking about that. I was like, wait,
the brakes.
Yeah. So I don't know.
Good thing I'm still just building everything.
Yeah. So obviously it'll be available, but hopefully they'll clear that up. I know, bro. I know. So yeah,
they can't strike by themselves.
Word. But yeah, no. Everything else is chilling, man. I'm just, I'm waiting for the launch. I'm excited about the launch of Wonderduck. It's coming, and it's coming fast. So, let's see what happens. Let's see how it goes.
It's gonna be fun. Again, my prediction. You're up to how many signups right now?
90, I think.
90? I thought you were 98 already.
98. Ooh, did you see something I didn't see? I don't know. As of this recording, and the last time I checked, I thought it was 90. But yeah, listen, I'm hoping that obviously, the people who have signed up transfer, because you've had that situation where you get
I had a billion people sign up, and only like a smidgen of them actually came through at the end.
Yeah. No, there's 90. Yeah, I'm at 90, the big 90. So, we'll see. We have a couple of weeks left. If I can get it into triple digits, that'd be nice. Big shout out to the sponsor of our show from last month, Miss Daphne Lage, who killed her campaign. That was amazing.
She stomped on it. She's obliterated it.
I know. We spoke earlier today, and we never got to speak back because I think you got busy. And that's what I was going to tell you. I was going to tell you, I'm going to be on this thing at 7. Don't forget. And
I forgot. That's why I sent you the link. I said, this mofo. I was like, yo,
what is that for?
Jacked up.
The best thing is Sam doesn't respond to text. So I was like, what's that for? He never responded.
I was live. I didn't see it until after. I was live with our guests. Colbert.
How was the guest? Was he?
It was a fascinating interview. This guy went through a life traumatic experience. There was a severe accident, and he lost all his fingers on his hand.
Really?
So he's an amputee. And then now his prosthetic was being charged, but he has a robotic hand that he puts on, but he had to charge it. The courage that it took and to switch that mindset, I think it was fascinating. He said he attributed it to the fact that he had a strong family foundation. His brother, his parents, everybody just his girlfriend, everybody just rallied around him and his best friend. And he said, I could have either, lingered in self-pity and self-doubts, or I could have done something about it. And he says he was very fortunate enough that within 3 months he had a prosthetic hand, and that's unheard of. Of the accident, it's crazy because it's similar to liver transplants. They wait years to get a liver. My brother was fortunate enough to have 3 liver transplants in his lifetime, and that's
Yeah.
also unheard of.
Right,
Most
right.
people are on a waiting list forever. So
Yeah,
yeah, it
yeah.
was a fascinating interview. The character's fascinating. He's killing it. The
Good for
artist is doing
him.
a fantastic job on it. Yeah. I
That's
told him
awesome.
to hit us up again, and we'll
Yeah.
get him back on the show. But yeah,
Yeah.
it was
Right. Cool. Was that before or after you started talking crap about me, Rich? What was that?
Oh, the crap was right in the beginning.
Oh my God. Oh, unbelievable. Unbelievable. Jesus
Biggest
Christ.
balls is the illest. Yeah.
What did
So
you think? You think I would just leave you like that? You know what's funny about that was let's lift the curtain a little bit. When I first heard of the show being, me going on that show, I told you I was going to be on that show. And I said, yo, just block out that day so you don't have to do this on your own. He's like, I got it. All right. Well, there you were, 7:00 by yourself.
yo, don't start acting up. All right. Don't start acting up.
Woo! Anyway, so what we got on Get Your Meds tonight?
Get your meds. We got Holo Take It Easy.
Go ahead.
It's time for your medicine.
Vetted groups on Facebook, but I think not just Facebook, anywhere. But why vetted groups, George?
I don't know. I mean, what's funny about what's funny about
you brought it up.
yeah, that was your idea, dog. I specifically was talking about I put the Facebook thing up there because that's usually where like I see the groups. I haven't really seen any groups on other social media platforms. I don't think Instagram has definitely
they have groups. Yeah, they all have groups.
Instagram has groups. I didn't know that. Yeah, no, I don't belong to any groups. The thing with groups, bro, and I know you said, and maybe you can. I mean, obviously, maybe what was in your mind when you were saying, but when you said vet to do the make sure that you find out what's going on with these groups, I also thought like groups are funny on Facebook, man. Groups are funny on Facebook because when I originally started signing up for groups, I thought that it was going to be a group filled with, I don't know, people who were interested in topics like crowdfunding campaigns or independent comics, but I thought they were going to be people outside of independent comics. Silly me. Most of those groups are filled with other independent creators and other crowdfunders who are trying to promote the fact that what I mean. So it's kind of like counterproductive because we're just trying to sell product to each other that we're trying to sell to other people. So it's like, I'm not your audience, but the audience isn't there. So how do you vet these groups? What do you do?
Not only that, but I think another reason why you should vet these groups is for toxicity. Because there may be groups with a ulterior motive, or they have this strong belief on something, and you don't know what you're buying into until you're there, and then you realize, oh snaps, there's beef, and you inherited somebody's beef, and guilty by association, and all this other stuff. So I think it's really important to really know your audience. Really, just go back and don't take somebody else's word for it. Go and do your homework. Find out and see before you go play. Because there's a lot of groups out there that they say, oh, we're going to pull together because we oppose this, and we're going to support each other to grow this. So we're going to do right. But then there's the other stuff that comes along with the baggage that comes with it. That's not probably part of your value system. And do you want to compromise that value system just to fit in? It's one of those things. Same thing. I mean, like I can tell you right now, I joined these groups specific for selfish reasons to promote. Right? I joined all these groups to promote. Now, if you ask me a question, which is rare, because everyone's doing the same exact thing, everyone's posting their stuff. So it's really not the audience that I'm trying to target, but it's what I'm really trying to do is influence algorithms. Basically, what it is, using the same hashtags with my product title or whatever, and hopefully there's enough places on the World Wide Web that have that hashtag, and it gets ranked higher. That's really what I'm using it for. But it's rare when you get a question or people want to engage you in conversation. Most of the time, people just want to know your secret. That's basically what it is, and then whenever I get questions is, how did you do that? Or how did you do, where'd you get that printed? Or wait, those are the kind of questions I get. I don't get fan base questions, which tells me that these groups are not the target audience that I'm looking for.
No. Well, that's what I'm saying. That's what I said at the beginning. A lot of the people that are in the groups are people like us who,
Mhm.
are creators. They're not necessarily the fan base. But the other thing that, and you were saying about the toxicity, you also, before you join a group, and I've learned to do this, read, because some of those groups have rules for the group.
Yes. Yes.
Make sure you read those rules. Make
Yes.
sure that, because some of those have gone into, like, we can only post on Mondays, don't post on it. Like, it's very regulated as far as
Yeah.
what you can do. And I can see why. I mean, you don't want spam, you don't want robots, you don't want, I get it. And look, listen, if you're a group, a
unsubscribe.
person, if you're a person who has a group on Facebook and you're the administrator on a Facebook group, I'm sure that it's a tough job. I think, though, that when you limit the amount of posts that a person can make, and I think it's a thing of maybe talking to the person who's posting and saying, hey, dude, like, are you real or are you a robot? Because I see you posting a lot of stuff, whatever it is. I feel like a lot of people are treated like it's second or third grade, where you're like, on
Yeah, yeah.
timeout, you're in detention, like
Anal.
you're not. It's like, whoa, okay,
It's the
cool,
one thing,
guys.
and if you took offense to it, that's on you. But I think some of these guys that create these groups and they're the moderators, it's the only place that they have authority. So there's sometimes they abuse that authority, and so those are the groups that the moment that you check me once, I unsubscribe, and then I write you down to make sure that if you reach out to me, the moment you delete my post or whatever, then I'm like, all right, if you ever hit me up to get on the show, make sure I know that name. And I basically pull out, because I don't have time to join a group to look at rules. If I'm joining a group, we're gonna post, the images, whatever, engage. I'm gonna like some of the posts that I see, but that's all I want.
Yeah.
But the moment you coming heavy handed, I'm like, all right, I'm out, peace, and don't hit me up to be on the show to promote your book, because for me, it's like it's supposed to be an open source space. We don't like, the indie community complains about Facebook and the algorithms, and they're making it harder, and they have all these rules, but you're doing the same exact thing. You know what I'm saying? So don't complain about it if you're going to do the same things. That's my
See,
opinion.
I think for me, as a moderator, if you're starting a group, it's a lot of work.
Yeah.
Expect a lot of work, right? But I think that, just like we're talking about vetting those groups, I think you also have to vet the people that are coming into the groups. If your concern is that you're going to get foul language, nudity, whatever, then before you allow somebody to come into your group, make sure that's not what their book is about. So you don't have to worry about those things, because our books aren't about that kind of stuff. Our books are kid friendly. So if we're going to post something on there, it's not going to
Facebook
be offensive.
algorithm doesn't know that. They
It's not
blocked
going to be
beauty
offensive.
because of they thought it was a naked alien. I'm like, there's
Right,
no
right.
genitalia.
They don't know, but the moderators are humans. They're not
Yes.
these, you know what I mean? So they can vet, like, okay, dude, send me samples of what you're posting, or what your book is about, and I'll let you know if you can even join the group. Now, that you may say, yo, dude, come on, that's too much red tape. Yeah, but you know what? I understand that you're trying to keep a good group going and stuff like that. But to delete people's posts without letting them know you're deleting them just because
Yeah.
it's not Monday, to me,
Yeah.
that's insane. That's
There's a
just crazy.
Kickstarter. There's a Kickstarter group that if I use the hashtag "there's an alien on my toilet," it automatically deletes it because it's assumed it's something negative. So
Because
I
the
have to
title of the
post
book.
there without that hashtag. It's crazy.
Yeah.
But like I had a fan page for "there's an alien on my toilet," but Facebook changed it to a group. I didn't want it to be a group. I don't want to moderate shit. So I'm trying to, and they keep getting these alerts. So someone wants to join the group. I don't want to have to moderate that. Just join it if you want to join it. I just wanted a fan page so people can just like the page.
Because for fans.
Yes.
And that's the thing. It's a fan page for fans.
Right.
And that's
But
what
Facebook changed it.
that's what they should be. I know. I think that this whole group idea, I don't think it works. I think it works for groups like people who like to go swimming, people who like to play volleyball, like groups like that. You know what I mean? Like those groups work because people that like to do that kind of stuff maybe can organize, whatever. Groups like for comics and stuff like that, independent creators and things like that, unless the group is, and it says it in the beginning, is specific to, networking. It's a networking group. Let me know ahead of time So I know it's a networking group, so that I'm not trying to pitch my stuff or trying to throw my, show my stuff up there. If it's a networking group and I want to network, I know that that's where I go. I need an artist, I need a writer, I need a colorist, a letterer. That's the group I'm going to go to. But to just call it independent publishers or whatever, and maybe we're in the wrong for assuming that that's what it is. You know what I mean? I don't know. I don't know who's joining that group. Give me a list of the people who are joining. Because growing a fan base is tough, dude. Growing a fan base is very, very tough. And I think that maybe groups aren't that. Maybe groups aren't for that. Maybe groups are on Facebook are for that, for networking. Maybe that's what it is. And maybe we just, misread the information out there. I don't know. But
but also, it's interesting. The reason why I sparked that because I was watching a video yesterday of somebody who joined a group that has a reputation, for toxic dialogue and all that stuff, whatever. And they were basically trying to say that's not what it is and blah blah blah. And the reason why they joined is because they're trying to get more backers for their campaigns, all of that other stuff. I said, look, I equate when you have to, I'm not here judging groups. What I'm here to say is if you have to compromise your values because for the sake of getting backers, you're going about things the wrong way because eventually you'll get egg on your face. I think, there's always a better way. And for me, it's like, even when I can't tell you, I've never been I've been a leader of my own clique when I lived in the block, but I wasn't a follower. There was a difference. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, I didn't say like, oh, I want to join that squad. I want to join that squad. I was like, nah, I'm going to form my own squad and then, we're going to do our thing and whatever. I think the moment you go because you have an ulterior motive and they have ulterior motives and then the motives clash, something's going to pop off and you're going to be like, oh man, why did I do this? Then you have to start explaining yourself and putting out videos and all that other stuff. So all I'm saying is do your homework before you join groups, and know that everybody else is doing the same thing, right? So all these communities on Facebook, they're all creative communities, so that's not your audience. You might get a couple of people that might dig your work, but the audience is going to be the people at the Comic Cons, the comic book shops, the libraries, the expos, those kind of things. That's where you'll find your audience. But know your audience before you start, before you decide to get your patch.
Yeah.
What I'm saying?
I think Facebook groups are for networking more so.
Yeah, that's
now.
what it is.
I don't think they're for fans.
No, I think the Facebook groups, what it did was drive traffic to Catch the Craze. More so than anything else I've done, right? So, I mean, I'm posting for Kickstarters, for the books, but what it is like, oh, you have a podcast? Can I get on the podcast? That's what it's done. It's been a networking event, more so than anything. So there's the positive. All it does is attract.
And here's the other thing: if for those that maybe you posted stuff about the podcast on those groups, subscribe to the channel. Don't just, hey, I want to be on your show. Okay, cool, that's awesome, bro. Help me grow it. Subscribe. Tell your friends you're going to be on this show. Tell them to subscribe. Like, it's got to be part of it. It's got to be part of it. If we're going to help each other out, we got to help each other out. We have no problem putting whoever wants to come on the show. And if you watch some of our shows, you know that we put whoever wants to come on the show on the show. Watch the shows and you'll know what we're talking about. We don't discriminate when it comes to who comes on the show. We don't vet. We don't do any of that stuff. We're live. We don't even edit unless people ask us, hey man, I said some stuff I shouldn't have said. Can you please take it out? Okay.
Yeah, no, I'm not editing anything.
No, we've done that. We've done that in the past. But what I'm saying is we don't discriminate as far as who comes on the show. So I say that to say, if we're not discriminating, then give us a follow, subscribe to the channel. Help us help you. And I know it's off topic a little bit.
Need
but
subscribers help. Not just any subscriber.
Yo,
Hell.
dude, the road to 1,000 is long, and we're still on it. So help us get to that 1,000.
I know, bro.
Subscriber
I
goal
know.
or favore.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Word. Word.
Yo, bro, I've been thinking about pizza for 2 weeks.
Oh, okay. Are we done with
Right?
the segment?
Yeah.
That concludes the segment of Cancer Craze. Let's talk about some pizza. What happened?
No, I've been thinking about pizza for 2 weeks, right?
Okay.
And I can't just order. If I order pizza, I gotta order 2 pies, one for my wife, which is gluten free, and then one for myself. And so I was thinking about pizza for 2, and each time when I wanted to order the gluten free, they were always closed. I was like, so I couldn't order it. So today I was like, you know what? Today it was a bad day. Today it was a non-productive for me. There's been a lot of stuff going on here, and so I just said, hell with this. I got me a small pie. I got her gluten free pie. I got me a small pie.
Nice.
And I got me what is it? Dry rubbed wings, right?
Dry rubbed wings.
Oh, delicious, bro. So
Okay.
and I went to the bedroom and I put on the movie Loud House, the cartoon, The Loud House. You ever seen it?
No.
It is a fantastically written animated series on Nickelodeon.
It's a series or a movie?
They're on season 6, but they had a movie.
Okay.
I didn't know that. I just went on Netflix and looking for Loud House, and the movie came up. I was like, oh, they got a movie. Brilliant writing, endearing characters, hilarious. I love it to death. Right. So I'm just sitting there watching it, and I'm studying the beats and all that stuff, whatever. And I'm eating that pizza, and I fell asleep.
Nice.
With a box of pie on my chest, laying on the
bed. No wonder I didn't get a call back. Had you called me back and not fallen asleep, you would have known I was going to be on the show at 7.
I had too much drama here. Too much drama. I was like, yeah,
dude,
I couldn't get anything today.
But let me ask you a question. Did you enjoy your pizza?
I ate half the pizza. It's a small pie, so I ate one side and I had 2 wings. And tonight after this, I'll have the rest. But yeah, But Loud House is really, really fantastic. Beautifully done. The writing is amazing. The cartoon is funny as hell.
Cool. Yeah, now I have to check that shit out. Oh, check it out.
Yeah, check out my melody. Yeah. And things are going well with the licensing. I'm getting meeting requests left and right, so that's pretty dope. I'm like, oh, it'll be a productive week. Thank goodness. But yeah. So in a couple of minutes, we're gonna have Johnny C on the show. We're gonna bring him in. After this bump from Joe D. McAfee.
Let's do it.
What is it? The Death of a Small Press Publisher?
Hi, I am Joe D. McPhee. I am the host of From the Desk of a Small Press Publisher. And I want to cordially invite you to watch our show Saturdays at 9 p.m. Central Standard Time. On our show, we will have different guests as well as talk about the comic book industry and pop culture. And every so often, I might actually do a drawing session or a 3D rendering session every here and there. So once again, I want to invite you to watch From the Desk of a Small Press Publisher right here on the broadcast channel that you're looking at, whether it be Facebook, YouTube, or Twitch. Hope to see you there, and make certain that you catch From the Desk of a Small Press Publisher at 9 p.m. Central Standard Time. Thanks.
All right, surrounded by death. Here's the man himself. What's up?
There he is.
What up? How's it going, gentlemen?
Oh, man.
Love the brick wall. Love the rock wall behind you.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, that's not insulated, so it's rock inside and out. It gets really hot in the summer and cold in the winter.
Nice.
Thank you guys for having me on the show. I'm ever so grateful.
Oh, man. It's awesome.
Anytime, man. Mi casa, su casa, brother.
Absolutely.
Yeah, right on, man. You were just talking about pizza. You got me hungry now.
Me too.
So you said you got a small, though, right?
Yes.
Eating a small pizza is completely different experience than eating like a large pizza, because just the consistency and the size and the dough, like by default, when you get a small pizza, it's almost like you're by default getting a deep dish because they're always so small. The slices are always thicker. It's just a completely different experience, you know?
Interesting.
Yes. This one was with charred tomatoes, I did pepperonis and some basil.
Oh,
delicious.
nice. I used to work at my aunt's pizza place, and on Friday nights, sometimes after we close, we'd drink a little bit, and we'd get creative with the pizzas. We'd be like, okay, let's put a little, fresh peach, a little aged Parmesan, prosciutto, like olive oil, and then we just get wild pizzas, Nutella, marshmallows. We'll just won't mess with it. Sorry, can I swear?
Hey man, I said the sh word before, so yeah.
Oh, all right, right on.
Oh man, that sounds delicious though. I mean,
yeah, it was a good time.
It shouldn't, but it kind of does. You know what I mean?
Right,
it's kind of
right,
weird.
yeah.
It's kind of weird. But yeah, no, welcome everyone. We are here on Catch the Craze, and we are talking to Johnny C, creator of Surrounded by Death. So yeah, Johnny,
we've done more conventions this year than I've done in the past 5 years.
Bro, I love it. I love it. But for the audience out there, tell us a little bit about yourself, Johnny. Tell us who Johnny C is.
So I'm an independent creator out of Massachusetts. I've self-published the majority of my work. I have some shorts and other publications here and there. I like to consider myself somewhat of an entrepreneur. I like to do a little bit of everything. Mm-hmm. I directed music videos, horror, very indie horror films. I guess if you were to generalize, you could say that I have a creative spirit, mm-hmm. and I just look for outlets and opportunities for me to channel that. And that way I can express my creative voice any which way I can. It's almost like I have to, exercise my demons. Otherwise, if I'm idle with these, creative thoughts in my head, want to do stuff, it's just like I get frustrated, or I get, it's detrimental to me. You know what I mean? So I gotta always be busy, always working on something, and sometimes I even burn myself out. I don't realize it. I forget to come up for air. You know what I mean?
Yeah. No, it happens. What's your favorite, I guess, thing to create? Is it the music videos? Is it the writing? Is it what is your favorite thing? What is the thing that you love the most? I know it's probably hard to pick.
Yeah, it is a hard choice. I mean, I love different experiences for different things, like music videos, like working with bands and seeing some bands that I normally may have not noticed or not known. So that's been fun, working, going on location somewhere to shoot and string it all together in the studio and in the editing room after. It's kind of a cool process. But comics is something I've always loved. So that's kind of what I focus on the most. And it's kind of the most easiest thing to make because, you can do it over email. You can do it over internet. It's very easy. It's not like when you're trying to get a film crew together, all at once on a single day.
Yeah.
Right. And it just becomes so hard to do. And, I tried shooting a pilot. I couldn't put a date on it right now. Maybe it was like 2014 or 2013. And it was just the hardest thing to possibly do. Like just to kind of take that Always Sunny in Philly approach where they shot a short and they, kind of this really cool segment. And we tried to do that and we had a really cool concept. It was just so hard to execute everything. And then when you realize, oh, well, we can't shoot here because of this. And, oh, we're going to lose this location. So we have to redo the whole thing. And it just became a nightmare. And then when I discovered that I can kind of have a creative output in comics and I grew up reading comics, that was like, well, this is a lot easier and manageable. I can meet people from all over. I can, collaborate with people from all over. And it just becomes like as easy as, okay, when I do my part, I can hand it over to you. And then, we can collaborate from there. And then when you've done your part, I can hand it over to the letterer or the colorist. And, they do their part. And it's just a real collaborative process. And I enjoy that the most, I'd say.
Yeah.
Nice. So, but you also podcast too. So, tell us about
yes.
Yes,
that's right. That's right. Yes. Well, my Wednesday night's usually a little bit busy because even right after I do this, I'm going to hop right over to Indie Comics Relay. I'm the co-host of that show with my good friend Keith Gleason. Yes. And really, it's a platform kind of like you guys to allow indie creators to really talk about themselves, talk about their work, and more often than not promoting a Kickstarter. Mm-hmm, that's when we kind of hear people, hear from people the most. Hey, I got a Kickstarter coming. Can I come on the show and promote? We'll do that for them. We want to be able to step up to the plate for them and present them so other, our audience can step up to the plate for them.
Yeah,
Right.
absolutely.
Right.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
So
talk about, so what's your average day look like?
So I do have a day job. So that really, and currently it's dominating the majority of my schedule. So, and I work a late shift too. So I'm on the Eastern time zone and I work from 11 to 7. So I'm usually up around 7. And that's where I kind of do like in the more personal stuff, things around the house. And then when I go into work, it's work all day. And then usually from 7 after, it's, get home, dinner. And then when I can find some time to unwind, I always think it's important you have to consume media that inspires you.
Yeah.
Otherwise, you kind of lose touch with things. You know what I mean? You got to find your inspirations. And you got to make the time to find your inspirations,
Yeah.
So I always try to, allocate at least 2 to 3 hours for just catching up on shows that I love or, watching things, whatever the case may be. And then usually from like 10 to question mark, the midnight hour.
That's right. That's right.
And that's where, my creative brain starts to, dive into stories or projects or, whatever's on my plate at that time. So, for example, more recently, I was working on issue 3 of Jared Brown's book called Advent Dark. So I just finished scripting issue 3 on that. I'm going back and forth with him on notes, and I'm going to be slowly slipping into Sartana issue 3 at this point, which is my spaghetti Western comic.
Cool.
Nice.
And, that's usually, like I said, in that hour until I get to the point where I'm either asleep at the keyboard or, I've hit too much of a wall that I'm spinning wheels. That's when I'll call it quits.
Right.
Yeah, absolutely.
You did mention that you like to consume media for inspiration. What's inspiring you right now? Is there a show right now that you're like, yo, dude, this show right here really makes me want to go do something, we'll work on something that I'm doing?
Geez, so I've actually kind of fallen down the rabbit hole of the based on a true story miniseries that are coming out. There's a lot of them.
I just watched The Dropout.
I just finished that. Literally, that's the one I just finished. I got that. I got The Thing About Pam, which is based on a Dateline. That's real. It's a really good story.
Is that on Hulu?
And then,
isn't that Keith going?
It's I guess the last episode was last night or something like that. But it's on Peacock, I think.
Okay.
Yes, is that woman it's all over TikTok where they're showing video clips of her interrogation or interviews? Is it that?
Oh, woman? Yeah, and she just lies her way through it, and it's like they buy it, and it's almost comedically how insane it is. You know what I mean? Yeah. So, and it's funny because it's like you think about inspiration, right? It's like, and specifically The Dropout, and you look at the case of Elizabeth Holmes, and at what point did she go from driven to like just losing it, right? Like super villain.
Yeah, right. It's funny because when you watch the show, there was a moment in the way it's done. There's a moment in the show when she's on a yacht where they talk to her about money, and it's at that moment that you see her kind of go down into that. Oh man, here it is. It's coming. You know what I mean? You see it coming. But you're right. It's so interesting. I was talking to Sam about this because how did she even get into some of those rooms to talk to some of these people with money, like Rupert Murdoch, who gave her money to do some of the things? It's like, why can't we go into those rooms and say, hey man, I got something I want you to put some money into? You know what I mean?
So I mean, not to generalize and not to come off as misogynist or anything like that, but I think the fact that she was a very young, pretty attractive woman probably helped her out. She was walking in circles where she was talking a big game about innovating. Oh yeah. Taking a blood sample as simple as a pinprick from your finger and getting all sorts of test results. I mean, who wouldn't want to do that? I part of my day, I take my old man to appointments. He's not, he's a little, he's having a tough time right now anyway. But I see how many vials of blood they got to pull from the poor guy. You know what I mean? It's like to think that one pinprick. Like, that's a real enticing offer. I mean, she conned Walgreens.
Walgreens, bro.
A major company.
Begging her to let him, it's like crazy. It's such a good, you're right. It is so good. And you're right. At what point does she go from driven to villain, and that's
It was
very interesting to watch.
It was like a comic book villain
Yeah.
story unwinding before my eyes. It was like,
Yeah.
you know, in the next moment, she's fighting Spider-Man some way. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Oh, totally, dude. Totally. But so going into the comics, right? Surrounded by Death. Tell us a
Yes.
little bit about Surrounded by Death, because I know you have your 9:00 show tonight.
Yes, that's right. So Surrounded by Death, it was a story that I basically produced the idea. I met a collaborator in San Diego at San Diego Comic-Con, Mark Elliott, who we were at a Creator Connection panel. It's run by Doug Neff from Toucan Learning Systems.
Mm-hmm.
And what he does is he sets up the room with writers across from artists. And then what he does is, they go around the room, you get 5 minutes. It's like speed dating. What are you working on? What's your portfolio? What are your rates? Yada, yada, yada. And then you just try to find somebody you could potentially work with, right? 1 year, it was like 25 writers and 1 artist.
Oh,
So I'm like, this is not going to be a very productive session if I'm just sitting here
yeah.
waiting to like speak to this one poor girl who's going to be pretty tired by the time
Right.
she gets to me, right?
Yeah.
So I asked Doug, I go, can I sit across as a producer? And I want, allow people to sharpen their pitches with me. And also, if I see something I like, maybe we can talk about it. And sure enough, Mark sat down across from me. He pitched Surrounded by Death. He said that it was like a throwback sitcom to the 70s, and he tried to liken the camaraderie to MASH, which I loved MASH as a show.
Yeah.
But when I read the manuscript, and mind you, he wanted to write it as a novel, I'm like, no. This is perfect for comic books.
Mm-hmm.
And the story was literally, and I still pitch it as such to this day, it's Mallrats meets The Walking Dead. So you have like the stakes of The Walking Dead, but you have the camaraderie and like the behavior of like what you would see in Mallrats.
Right.
And we have our original characters. Our story arc so far have been 2-issue arcs. We just finished our first Kickstarter campaign, my first Kickstarter campaign ever. And that was for issues 1 and 2, which comprised into volume 1. I literally got the first page of issue 3 today, so that was pretty exciting.
Nice.
I always love when you get new art, you know what I mean?
Yes, I love
It's almost like Christmas.
Yeah, absolutely. I say it all the time. It's so funny. Yeah, you're right.
But the core of the story is about these survivors interacting and living in the mall, kind of trying to make it like things never changed, like trying to live through the zombie apocalypse with the same quality and standard of today's normal life. And that's where a little bit of the humor comes into play, and where things start to come awry, like somebody kind of has to step up into place and to be the hero for the people, so to speak, and the first story arc involves a specific coffee blend that runs out that everybody loves. So our leader has to take it upon himself to go into a dangerous portion of the mall with his best friend to get more. And so for when I take the comic to shows, I actually partner with a local roaster, and I developed that specific coffee blend. So I can sell bundles at shows. You can buy both comics. You can buy a bag of the coffee. We do T-shirts. So, you can get a nice bundle of Surrounded by Death when you see me at conventions.
That's amazing, dude. I was going to ask you about the coffee idea. So it's something that's inside the book, and so you made it. How receptive were these roasters to like kind of like jump on board with this?
The secret is that I worked there in high school. And so they actually recently switched hands. So getting the new owner on board seemed a little bit tough. Yeah. She wasn't very communicative at first, but then when she realized I was placing these massive orders, she was like, okay, come on in, whatever you needed, I'm here for you. So, nice. It's not uncommon for me to walk out of the roaster with like 30 pounds of coffee.
Damn.
Yeah.
That's amazing, dude. That's and people buy it. People buy it at shows.
People buy it at shows. So I mean it's the process to marketing to people is an interactive one. And I was in sales. So like they put us through the ringer in terms of learning people's behaviors and ways to market to them and ways to get them to buy. And, I don't really like it because I think some of it's disingenuous and some of it's even mildly nefarious.
Yeah.
But,
Dope
when
Sick.
you look,
You ever seen Dope Sick? That's another show you should check out.
Oh, I've not, but I'm sure that's something that's right up my alley.
Oxycodone and stuff. What's his name is in it? Michael Keaton's in it. You should definitely check it out.
Oh, I'll have
talking
to check
about
it out.
nefarious like sales and using like that kind of stuff. I see what you're saying, but I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Yeah,
man.
like Boiler Room, Glengarry, Glen Ross, all those movies are just like, sales for the sake of profit and greed as opposed to providing a service and a commodity.
Yeah.
But there are some techniques like people behind the table who are pros when they put the book in the person's hand.
Right.
When they have reader copies ready to go, going, here, check this out while I pitch it to you. And they're looking through the art and they're kind of formulating their own judgment based upon keywords that you're throwing at them as they're looking at the product. Mm-hmm. And then sometimes all it takes is just, like you open up the coffee bag and you kind of just said, here, take a whiff. And they'll smell it and they'll go, okay, I want this tomorrow morning with my pancakes. So, it's just, simple as that.
That's it. Yeah.
Yeah. But I mean, it's really genuinely good coffee. Whenever I get coffee to sell at conventions or online, they're usually roasted within like a week or two.
Wow.
So that's really the secret there is what makes the difference between a really good cup of coffee is that when you buy something off of a shelf in a supermarket versus something that was roasted on site, you could taste the difference. And that's a lot of what comes into the bags of coffee.
That's awesome.
That's dope.
Awesome,
that's
dude.
dope. So now
thanks, man. Yeah.
So you've been on a tour, you've been hitting convention circuits this year. So what conventions have you been to, and what conventions are you planning on for the rest of the year?
Yeah, so I'll tell you about what my the end of my last year was like first. I'll kind of start at that point. So I was lucky enough to be in Artist Alley for New York Comic Con for small press for San Diego in November, and then Artist Alley again at C2E2 in Chicago. Normally those shows are months apart with plenty of time for me to plan. Last year it was like October was NYCC, November was SDCC, and then December was C2E2. So I was like, bang, bang, bang. You can't turn that down, right? You turn that down, and then it's like they're like, okay, on to the next guy. And then when you apply, it's like another 5-year wait to try to get into the door. So, when they offer it to you, you take it if you absolutely can, don't deny it. So that's what I did. I did 3 in a row, and I was, starting to kind of financially recover from all the traveling.
Yeah.
And then the first show I did this year was Retro Expo. It was in Tiverton, Rhode Island.
How was that?
It was an all right show. Some people did a little bit better than others. I think part of it just had to do with like the layout. It was it was a first time show, so I'm not really faulting the people who put on the show, the promoters. Yeah. But I can see that show growing, and the facility that it's in is like a sports facility, like one of those like indoor sport places. So you get a lot of like audience that would normally go there, and a lot of it being kids coming through, checking out. They want to buy comics, they want to buy toys, collectibles, things of that nature. And so it's kind of perfect for a Comic-Con,
Yeah.
And then this past weekend, I had like the best Comic-Con I've ever done for a single day ever.
Really?
And that was Wicked Comic-Con in Boston.
That. Yeah.
Dude, it was off the hook.
Really?
It was insane. I sold out of everything just about.
Wow.
All the coffee was gone. Sold out, all surrounded by death. It was bananas. It's going to be a good show when you see TV commercials for it. And the promoters are really putting the effort in. I mean, you even said, "Oh, I heard about that."
Yeah, dude.
So
they had little cards at my local comic book shop here in Yonkers. So they really went all the way. You know what I mean? I'm in New York, obviously. Just in Westchester County here in New York. And so they made their way all the way out here, or had people drop off cards all the way out here. So they really did their homework, and I did hear good things about it as well.
It was so crowded at one point. It's like the air was like musty. You know what I mean? That old school when you're at a Comic-Con and like the air starts to get like a little humid, and you're like, wow, there's a lot of people in this room.
Yeah,
it was like that.
Wow.
Yeah, man. I highly recommend the show. Put it this way. I went and got next year's table before the show was over. I turned to my buddy. I go, watch the table. I'll be right back. And I went and I signed up and I paid and everything. I was like, I'm coming back for next year. I'm that confident that anybody out there who's looking to find a show for 2023 in the New England area, forget Fan Expo, go to Wicked Comic Con.
Wow. When is it next year? Do you know?
April.
It's in April.
No. I think it's either April or May. I'm sorry, I don't remember off the top of my head, but it's somewhere in that area. Yeah, that time frame.
Wow. What do you got? What are you doing later on? Like as far
and then what's coming up at the end of this month is another show called Monster Expo. It's a mid-year horror show. So I'm going to bring out all my horror books for that one. I have The Pond, which is a 2-issue old school black and white horror story, kind of like a throwback to Tales from the Crypt.
Nice.
And I have I'm in Cthulhu is Hard to Spell. It's an anthology of just old Lovecraftian-based short stories. So I got 2 volumes of that. We just finished the 3rd volume on Kickstarter a couple of weeks ago, or maybe even a week ago. And, we're going to bring some of the horror stuff out to that. And then I'm also at Saratoga Comic-Con in May next month. I'm also the MC of that show.
Cool.
So I do panels and just, announcements throughout the day. So you hear me over there. And then last but not least, I'm definitely booked for San Diego in July.
Good for
then
you.
After that, I'm waiting to hear back on Terrificon in Connecticut and Mohegan Sun. Another great show of mine. I think probably second best to Wicked would be Mohegan's show, Terrificon. And then I'm waiting to hear back for C2E2 and NYCC. Which are usually my staples of the year. I try to hit those big shows.
Johnny, you are busy, brother. You are busy, and I know I know you got to run because I know you got a show that you guys are doing at 9:00. But tell us where we can find your stuff and give us your social handles and all that other fun stuff.
Yes. So just like in my signature here, you can see it's at Johnny C138. That's for Twitter and for Instagram. If you go to Facebook, if you type in facebook.com, your Johnny C, as in possessive, as in I belong to y'all, you will find the Facebook page for me. You can like that. And then you can find me Wednesday nights on YouTube with Keith Gleason, Indie Comics Relay. Make sure you subscribe, hit that notification bell for that.
Awesome.
Outstanding, brother. Yes. Outstanding. You're doing your thing, baby. I mean, you're out there, you're killing it, you're having fun, So.
Yeah, man. My motto is quality, consistency, and travel, right? If you can put out quality work and you can do it consistently and you get around to tell enough people about it, you can make an impact. And that's kind of the credo that I follow in that regard.
I like it. I like it, man. I like it. CQT, baby. CQT.
Yeah. Hell yeah.
Put that on a t-shirt, bro. Put that on a t-shirt. Oh, Johnny, you're amazing, man. Thank you so much for coming on.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you so much for having me.
Absolutely, man. Have a wonderful show, brother. You're welcome back whenever.
Thank you. I appreciate that. I'll probably come knocking when I have my Kickstarter.
Yes.
And congratulations on your Kickstarter, by the way, Sam.
Thank you, brother.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yes.
And you got Wonderduck coming up soon, if I remember correctly, right?
I do. May 4th. May the 4th be with you. Yeah.
All right. Well, if we can't get you on the show, we'll at least try to shout you out.
All right. Sounds good to me. All right, Johnny. Take care, my man.
Right on, my man. Have a good one, guys. Thank you.
Later.
So that was Johnny C. Again, the guys killed in the game. I met them through you. You were on their show first. And then I got on the show. Great group of guys. They're out there having fun. They have a great show, great podcast. It's when you see people they go to shows because Johnny posts all his events on Facebook. And so I get excited because I haven't been to a show in a minute, so I'm like living through their events. And I'm like, oh man, I can't wait to go. That's pretty dope. I tried to go to San Diego this year, but they said no, they had to honor all the people that they
bitch.
Yeah, so they I had to wait till next year. So I'm like, oh man,
I'm gonna try to see if I head out to Terrificon, even if it's just to check it out. Yeah. This year. You should come down, bro. Just to check it out. I mean, depending on how it goes.
When is it?
July, at the end of July, July 31st, I think. into August, July.
Well, I'm gonna find out from Dallas Fan Expo if I'm getting in. If I don't get in, then maybe I'll if it's not too late, I'll get a table at Surfacon. We'll see.
Yeah, Johnny's out there. John Syfax, he's gonna have a table out there.
Yeah,
that's terrific. Yeah. He already has his lined up. So, but yeah, no, Johnny C. Definitely check him out. Definitely follow him on the social handles. He is, he's full of energy, man. He's got so much stuff going on. Surrounded by that sounds really, really cool with the coffee and all that other stuff. He's the salesman in him, though. How good is he at sales?
Yeah. That's the part that was impressive. You don't think I was taking notes? I was like, oh, I like that tactic. I was like, oh, I didn't really think about that. It was
right.
Just handing them the book while you're talking to them, throwing in the keywords. It's like
keywords.
Thank you for that lesson. Yes, I was like, thank you for that lesson.
The main thing there was keywords as people are looking. And then when he says, "Smell the coffee," what? Done deal. He mastered that's some stuff where that guy's been doing this for a while. You know what I mean? And he knows what he's doing. And that's Johnny. Johnny knows what he's doing. So if you're watching and you want to learn about sales, that's the man right there.
Maybe I shouldn't have avoided those sales classes.
Damn.
I was like,
right? You're like, I'm not gonna need these.
I don't need that. I got the Obama smile. What are you talking about?
The Obama smile.
That's what they used to tell me at work.
Yeah, the Obama smile.
Like it's hard to be mad at you with that smile. I was like,
man.
The smile always works. That's freaking
funny.
But that was another great segment on Catch the Craze. And if you have any feedback or anything you want to share on the topic of vetting groups, let us know. Put it in the comments. If you haven't done so already, please subscribe. Subscribe to the channel. It doesn't cost you a thing. It's free, bro. We're giving it away for free. We're giving you subscriptions for free, bro. Yo, come on. I'm just saying. That's worth $1 million. Hit that bell. Don't forget the Adventures of Wonderduck. Sign up if you haven't done so already. The link is in the summary. And while you're at it, sign up for There's an Alien in My Toilet Part 2. Yes, there it is. There's that piece right there.
Print.
Yes,
show him the print. Show him the print, Sam. Show him the print.
Print is moving. I gotta make sure I keep it secure. Keep us on. What are you doing?
Careful with that thing. That thing is nice, man.
Yes. Boom.
That looks beautiful, bro. 8x10 is nice and small, nice and it fits really nice.
This is I think 10x10.
A 10x10, yeah. No, it's beautiful, bro. Looks
nice and square.
The color came out real nice, right? Their quality is nice. The cardstock.
Yeah, the cardstock is nice. That arrived today. That's gonna be dope. So this is another great episode. With that said, I'm Sam the Crazy Man Vera.
George the Dreamer Medina.
And we are. Oops.
Boing.
It's just easy. It's not.
Crazy. Acquiesce.
No, I was talking about my friend Acquiesce. I met him. Say my name, right?
This is what you were thinking?
Oh, Lord.
He described me. He said, I'm the
What? Catch the Craze. You're listening to Catch the Craze. You're listening to Catch the Craze. You are listening to Catch the Craze on Catch the Craze. You're listening to Catch the Craze.
Candy girl.